Hello and welcome. You probably know this situation. In the news, at the dinner table, or maybe even in your own family. There is one topic that often leads to heated debates. And in the end, the discussion usually comes down to one main question. Why Germany? Do people really choose Germany on purpose? And if they do, what are the real reasons behind that decision? Today we want to explore this question, not with opinions, but with facts. Our starting point is not speculation but a scientific study. We look at a research report from the Federal Office for Migration and Refugees, BAMF. For this study, experts from both governmental and non-governmental organizations were interviewed, people who work with these issues every day. So let's begin with the most important point. We need to leave behind the idea that people choose a country like they would choose something from a travel catalog. According to the experts, reality looks very different. Researchers use a complex but important term for this: limited room for action. In simple words, it means that choosing a destination country is often not a completely free choice. Many external factors shape the journey, factors people themselves can hardly control. What kinds of factors limit these choices? The study gives clear examples. Sometimes it is pure coincidence, such as being stopped by authorities. Often smugglers decide where the journey goes. Reliable information is usually very limited. Money is extremely scarce. And above all, there is one strong pressure. I must get away from danger as quickly as possible. Now we come to the factor that experts describe as the most important one. And it is not money, and it is not politics. It is people. The report says this very clearly. Most asylum seekers go to places where they already have contacts or connections. That is the key sentence. People follow other people. Why is that? Imagine leaving everything behind: your home, your life, your country. In that situation, a familiar face, someone who speaks your language and helps you with the first steps in a new system, is extremely valuable. These networks provide emotional support and practical help in a completely unfamiliar world. This is not just theory. You can actually see it on the map of Germany. Data shows that different communities are concentrated in specific regions. For example, many people from Afghanistan often go to Hamburg, people from the Russian Federation often to Berlin, and Pakistani Ahmadis mainly to the Frankfurt area. Why? Because communities already exist there and provide support. There is also another factor that challenges the idea of a free choice: the reality of the journey itself. And that reality almost always includes smugglers. Experts agree that because Europe's external borders are strongly controlled, it has become almost impossible for people seeking protection to enter legally in order to apply for asylum. For many, smugglers are not a free choice but the only option left. It is also important to understand that there is not just one type of smuggling. The study describes two general models. One is stage-by-stage smuggling, where the journey is organized in parts by different people. This is extremely risky. The other is complete smuggling, where one organization plans the whole journey, for a very high price. The data from the BAMF travel route survey shows how common this is. In many countries of origin, more than 3/4 of migrants used smugglers for the final part of their journey to Germany. Among people from Pakistan, the number was even 87%. And here is a crucial point: whoever controls the journey often decides the final destination. Smugglers change plans depending on risks or profits. Sometimes people are simply left somewhere along the route. The original destination may become impossible to reach, and the place where someone finally arrives becomes, according to the study, almost a result of chance. But beyond networks and smugglers, there is a deeper and more universal motivation that drives people who are fleeing: the search for security. What does security mean in this context? It is much more than simply the absence of war. It means living in a country governed by law, where people are not arrested arbitrarily. It means being able to practice one's religion freely. It means access to healthcare. And perhaps most importantly, it means having hope that one's children can go to school and grow up without fear. This is where Germany's international image becomes important. Experts say that worldwide, Germany is often seen as a stable, safe, democratic country, a place where human dignity matters and where people can build a future. This positive perception naturally makes the country attractive. And now we come to the final and perhaps most controversial question, one that often dominates public debates. Many skeptics ask, aren't people mainly coming because of money, because of social benefits or a supposedly generous asylum system? The answer from experts in the BAMF study is very clear: no. According to their analysis, asylum laws or the exact level of social benefits have only a limited influence on the choice of destination country. Why is that? Because information about complex laws or benefit systems rarely reaches people accurately. In many cases, it is vague, outdated, or simply wrong. Much stronger influences are the human factors. Do I know someone there? And will my family and I be safe there? So let's summarize. The decision to go to a country like Germany is rarely the result of a rational calculation about welfare systems. Instead, it is the outcome of a complex, often dangerous journey shaped by human connections, the search for safety, and sometimes pure coincidence. And this leads to one final question for all of us. If you were forced to leave everything you know behind, what would be the most important factor for you when choosing a new place to live? Today we discussed a study by the Federal Office for Migration and Refugees, 2013. Do you have questions or topic suggestions? Write to YouTube@EmpowerMIgra.com. EmpowerMIgra, understanding begins with listening.